Alright guys, so we know there's a lot of heroics in TBC, and you want to be getting around as many of them a day as you can to obviously maximise the amount of badges that you get. But obviously, some of the instances are quite long, some of them are quite short, so you might opt for possibly the shorter ones, just so you can get as many badges a day as you can, because you might be limited for time. But there are ways that you can obviously save time in these heroics, assuming that you've got a group that can actually use both their hands. Now, I'm going to show you a few skips in both Slave Pens and Underbog. Some of these are quite well known, some of them are not. So I've got two that I'm going to show you in Slave Pens, and an extra one, an additional one in Slave Pens, which I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't class as a skip, but it's actually just a cool little route that you might not even know exists, because until playing around on a beta, to say that I've done this hundreds and hundreds of times, I'd never even noticed this before. And then we've got a few in Underbog. Now, the Underbog ones really cut down the overall time that it's going to take you to actually do the instance, and I mean, they are big skips. Me and the boys are going to get together again, possibly tonight, possibly tomorrow, and actually time how quick we can get through these. Now, these are only on normal, but obviously there's absolutely no reason these skips shouldn't work on heroic as well. I have done them myself on heroic, but just not on the beta, you know what I mean. Now, just to put a little bit of context behind it, we had levels ranging from 60 all the way to 66. The 60 could comfortably do all these skips, and obviously everything in between all the way up to 66, no problems either. But if a level 60 can do this when it's not even a level 60 dungeon, you're going to have no problems doing it at 70 in 70 heroic, obviously. Before we get into it, obviously, if you find this video useful, make sure you like, subscribe, come check me out over on Twitch, Scottejaye87, streaming most nights. All of that information is in the description, including Discord, etc. if you want to join that, which is a couple of thousand strong now, great community, lots of TBC talk. But let's jump into Slave Pens and we'll have a look at the first skip. Okay, so once you've cleared the first hallway of like the big crab type dudes, you know, you're going to come to this room. Now, I'm on my own at the moment. This wasn't actually recorded last night because we was mass pulling everything and just clearing for XP and rep. But basically, this patrol that you can see running in the middle, we're going to wait for those to pat back. And now there's only one mob that you would pull now as your group. So this one that I'm marking as a skull. Now, while the patrol in the middle is well away, all the way up the top there, you want to pull this mob right back into the tunnel, basically, and kill it. Now, this is the only mob that you're going to need to kill in this entire room. Now the pats come back. The only way I'm going to be able to demonstrate this solo is if I just stealth past this one mob and we pretend we've pulled it back and we've killed it. So the patrol's walked off. I'm just going to stealth just past this one mob, but this mob would not obviously be here because your group would have killed it. But I will just show now. I'll come out of stealth and now I'll be able to get all the way to the two guards that are basically defending the next room where the first boss is. So as long as you hug past this lantern, run all the way around the outside and then make your way to the water. Be careful of the slave handler on the left-hand side here where the two slaves are that are sort of hammering their picks away or whatever they're doing. I don't even know what they're meant to be doing. And then just hug tight to the water here, and then you can pull the next two mobs right back and kill both of these and then get into the tunnel towards the first boss. So the skull and the X here are the mobs that will kill. So this is the first skip, and this skip will save a decent amount of time because you don't need to worry about pulling that patrol, potentially the mobs on the right, the mobs on the left. You can just get straight to these two mobs after killing one slave handler. Now, if we rewind, this is not a skip as such, but it is quite just a cool little route that you might not have known exists. So when we're stood here before we pull this first mob, if we were to actually turn left, you would end up coming down this hallway where my character is stealth now past all of these crabs. Now, obviously, you would need to kill these, so this is what I mean. It's not really a skip, but it is just a cool little route that you might not know exists. So you would have come down here, you'd have killed all of these around this section. Maybe you're doing it for XP and rep, so, you know, you could have just pulled them all, just AoE'd them down, whatever you want to do, probably just for XP. But then there is actually a tunnel down here, which, again, you might not even know exists. And this just basically takes you to the water ledge that we was at when we was doing the first skip, so we could get to those two guards, and this tunnel actually leads through underwater and then up to that ramp. Now, I can't really think of anywhere where this would be useful, and I've played around in this area quite a lot trying to pull the boss, but obviously he just evades, he can't do nothing. There's not really a great deal else that you can actually do down here other than when you foul the next skip we're going to talk about, you'll end up down there in this water. But as you can see, it brings you out at exactly the same place, but you're going to have to kill a lot more mobs. But it is just quite an interesting route, you know, just to have a little swim around in. So once you've killed those two guards, so we've done the first skip, we've just pulled that one slave handler, we've killed that, we've waited for the patrol to go past us, and then we just weave in between all the mobs, get round the outside. We then kill those two, we'll call them guards, the two guards that are stood protecting the tunnel to the first boss. Once you've gone through and you've killed the first boss, then this is where the next skip is basically going to start. So this is the ramp where you would have killed the boss. So we're looking down, we've cleared everything in this run. Once you get up here, there'll be a couple of patrols that are walking around. around. Safe just to kill one patrol. You can actually see a corpse on the screen now from where we did kill one. They're actually fighting still, and I completely ignore them and just go and do the skip because I'm a little bit impatient. But there is a pack at the top here that you would obviously kill as well, but you don't actually have to. If you wait for them to walk back, you can completely skip this pack of mobs that we're killing right now as well. But you jump off the bridge to the bridge just below. Now below us here is where the water was, which I was showing you a minute ago what I was swimming around in. This, if you foul, is where you're going to end up. But you don't want to jump here. You just want to walk towards the wall, fall off, land on the ledge, and then you walk round, and now you can get to the next boss, which is now the second boss. If we just go back ever so slightly, so after this, so this is the bit you're going to foul. The first jump from the top bridge to the bottom bridge is easy. But if you try and jump, the wall is actually angled down. So if you jump, you could get caught on the top of the wall and end up falling into the water. That's why it's a lot safer just to literally walk off at normal speed, really, and then you'll be absolutely fine. Now that's really the only decent skips in slave pens, but both of them will save you a lot of time. Not the swimming one, that's just cool. But you can, you know, just skip in that room of trash where you just kill the one slave handler and then skip the patrol and everything else. That will save you a decent amount of time. And then going up the ramp and then jumping down to get to the second boss, that saves you walking all the way around and clearing a lot of trash. Now on your first heroic, you're going to want to actually not do this skip. You're going to want to work your way around because that's where you're going to actually get your quest for your tier 5 attunement. So the first time you won't want to skip, obviously, but from there on you probably don't want to clear as much trash as, well, you want to clear as little trash as obviously you need to. So this is a good way to get sort of more or less straight from the first boss to the second boss with ease. From here, there's not really that many skips. You can be careful and work yourself around the outside of the room after the second boss and kill limited amounts of packs and ignore the patrols, but obviously that's entirely up to you. I wouldn't class that as a skip. I mean, that is just sort of clever gameplay. You're just hugging around the outside of the wall and you probably only need to kill 1 or 2 packs, and then you're going to be in the tunnel leading to the final boss, to Quagmire. But let's go on to Underbog, because Underbog's quite interesting and a couple of them save a lot of time. So the first one starts shortly after actually entering the instance. So when you come in and you kill the first 2 packs, if you look to your left, you'll see where I am now, just swimming through the water. Now the reason you want to swim through the water and just go on these ledges and work your way around is because you can skip all of the trash that's to my right hand side at the moment. We didn't actually kill any of it whatsoever. We literally walked in, killed like 2 packs, jumped in the water and swam round. Now it can be a little bit dangerous. There are fish in the water that you need to be aware of, but as I say, we had level 60s get through this quite comfortably. You just need to be mindful of what's below you. I don't need to worry too much here because I am 66. Obviously if you're like 63, 64, you're going to have no issues whatsoever. Don't try and jump up on the ledge. I'm jumping up on there. I'd had a few beers, don't know what I was thinking. But this basically means that we've skipped all the trash that you can see right in front of me now. So all in all, it saves a decent amount of time. And now the next one is very close to this. So when you run up that ramp, there's going to be 2 big giants basically stood in front of the boss. Now you can skip both of these. And this one looks dangerous because you almost feel like you're going to fall off the edge, but you won't fall off. And as I say, we had a level 60 do this skip, so it doesn't matter that I'm level 66. You can absolutely get past these. The level 60 in the group was actually Redzy, so I don't know if you know Redzy TV, check him out. He does some really good TBC content. Obviously he's no life in the beta as much as me. I'll actually put a link to his YouTube in the description. Now he did say that 61 he would have felt a lot safer doing it, because at one point he got a little bit too close and did have to feign death. But you're probably not going to be in here at 60 anyway. You'll be in here at 61, 62, so you definitely will have no issues. And obviously at level 70, where they're the same level as you anyway, you're definitely going to have no issues. But let's see what this skip looks like. So we've just come up that ramp, and as I say, we've got these 2 bog lords in front of us, or bog giants, whatever they're called. As soon as you can get to the ledge on the right hand side, you want to just hug as close to the edge as possible. Now this, your character will slip down and you'll feel like you're going to fall, but as long as you keep running forward, you can skip these 2 mobs. Now I appreciate it's only 2 mobs, and if something goes wrong, you're going to have to kill the mobs anyway if someone gets a bit close and you have to kill them, but you can then get behind here, pull the boss to this back of the wall and kill the boss here, and then you don't need to worry about those 2 mobs. I know you're only skipping 2, but that could be a couple of minutes waiting for the healer to drink, you know, afterwards as well before you pull the boss. So, you know, any time saved is potentially extra badges you're going to gain that day, because you might only have, let's say, 3 hours to play or something like that. If you can shave 15 minutes off of these runs, that's potentially, you know, another heroic that you're going to be able to do that day to get an extra 2 or 3 badges. So it's definitely worthwhile understanding these skips and seeing how much you skip. Now this next one is the most annoying one. You will get a group of 5 and you'll get 3 or 4 people that will do it straight away. They know exactly what they're doing, and I'm hoping that this might help those who don't know or haven't done it before, because it can be quite irritating just sat there waiting for everybody to be able to do this skip, to the point where people might just get impatient and go, oh, let's just clear the trash. But it's a lot of trash we're about to skip. I mean, I'd say 5 or 6 packs. You know, literally, that's quite a lot. And it's annoying packs as well that mana drain, which, you know, means more downtime having to drink. So doing this skip and nailing it to perfection is definitely worthwhile. So let me just show you what it is. So you'll work your way through this room. Currently, after that skip, we've killed the boss, we've killed a few more packs, and then we've made our way here. Now, when you come up this ramp, directly to your right, as soon as you turn, you'll see like a lantern type stand thing. Now, you can jump up it and over the ledge. So everything to the right-hand side between us now and the boss, we don't have to kill. Now, I want to just go back a couple of times so you can see this. Now, when you actually get in front of it, you want to just jump, move forward, stop, jump, move forward, stop, jump, move forward. Now, when you're here, so you're like not quite on top, your temptation is to probably actually try and get right onto the top of it. But don't get right onto the top of it. Instead, what you want to do is now instantly start running forward and jump. And you will sort of run up that last section and jump straight over into the water. Now, there's fish in the water. You know, you might need to be a bit careful. Ideally, you want to get all 5 of you over at the same time. So if someone did happen to aggro a fish or something, you know, your healer can keep them up, or, you know, your tank can quickly grab them and run over to here. But then it'll evade when you get to this pipe anyway. So if we was to go all the way up to that pipe, we'd be fighting the boss. But I'm actually going to the next boss after this boss. Now, these are just the skips I know and the skips that I know save time. But ideally, you want to be in a group full of people who understand these skips. So if you're going to be doing lots of heroics, lots of dungeons with your guild, it might be worth sharing this video on your Discord so everybody is aware of these skips. I'm going to be doing a video for all the instances where there are relevant skips. I'll be honest with you, there's not actually that many. The majority of the decent skips are all in the Coilfang Reservoir dungeon. I'll be going over a couple for Steam Vaults once I actually start doing Steam Vaults, so I can get some footage to show you from the beta. But if you enjoyed this, as I say, make sure you like, subscribe, check me out over on Twitch, and I'll see you on the next one.